People call me the manifester. The money will come to me all the time. The minute you realize your fear is based out of illusions, then what are you fearing so much?
Today we sit down with Chaya Rosenzweig. She's a real estate entrepreneur and a very spiritual person, and we learned a lot about how to build a business on her spirituality.
And today we'll talk about how to manifest things that you want in your life and also how to let money come to you. So if any of that interests you, you're going to love this one. Today we're excited to have Chaya Rosenzweig, who, let me see if I could get this right, is a, I messed it up, real estate entrepreneur.
No, you didn't. Perfect. Yeah.
A real estate entrepreneur and is the creator of Empower, a global network for empowering women, which is so important in these times with just everything that's going on in the world. Well, first of all, thank you for coming.
Of course.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Because this is your first time on the podcast, I really just want to know who you are. And before we get into any of the specific topics, just understand a little bit more of your story.
Okay, perfect.
So where do you think it starts?
It starts when I was born, but I'm not gonna go that long. No, trust me. Also, I'm like, I heard that I'm saying it so much, like I'm speaking all over the world about my story, and it's long. So let me do it short. I moved to America 10 years ago. I was married with a kid. I got married when I was almost 18. I had my first baby when I was almost 20.
Wow.
And we just decided that it's too hard for us in Israel. I didn't have any kind of degrees. All my friends, went to college. It wasn't for me. And I didn't know what to do. We were struggling in Israel financially. And I just told my husband, why don't we move to America? You have an American citizenship. Let's just, try it. I used to come to America every year for a month because my parents got divorced. My father lives in America. So I used to come visit and I liked it. Something about America gave me something to dream for, It looked big, powerful, a lot of options. For me, it always got me curious. And I just told him, let's move. And we did. But we had no money, no language, no background, nothing. We just landed. We started, we lived by my father for a few weeks in a tiny apartment. And then we rented a basement, no furniture. We really started from nothing.
New York, New Jersey, where?
New York and then New Jersey.
Okay.
Where I live now, still the same area. Not the same house, obviously. But we really started from the bottom, but we were hungry. We had this feeling, okay, we didn't sacrifice so much for nothing. It has to be something big. We didn't know how, when, but that was our mindset. After a while, when we worked anything that just, took us, I decided that I want to go into the real estate industry. Now it's okay, why do you think you can even do real estate? You don't have language, you don't know, you have nothing, no connections. What are you going to do? So I said, okay, let me get my license. Let me go to school and just have my license, start as a broker. I did that, but it usually takes 3-4 weeks to pass everything and get the license. It took me a year and a half because I had to do the course all over again. I had no English. I had my second baby, all the excuses to quit and to give up, but I didn't. And it took me 8 times to pass the final state test. I don't know if you know how it works, but you have to go over some tests, which I wasn't good in school. I never passed any test. But I did it and I started doing it. I was very good at the actual job, which showed me the first time that sometimes it could have a hard process until you get your goal. But then the actual work is exactly for you. So don't give up. Even if the process and the journey can be sometimes challenging, keep doing it. It's just the test. I remember the lady in the office when I went to take the test, she's like, why are you coming back? After 2-3 times, come on, it's not for you. And I said yeah, just give up. And I said, why? Just because the test is hard and I don't know the actual language doesn't mean I'm not going to be good at the job. The actual work has nothing to do with the test, So this is the first, lesson that taught me it's okay. Sometimes it could get challenges, but then if you're not giving up, you'll see the results. You'll get actually to an easy point once you're passing the real test of life. I did good. And then I said, yeah, it's nice and everything, but it's not for me. It doesn't give me the fulfillment or the satisfaction that I wanted. Just selling houses, which could be very, very fulfillment for a different person. For me, it was not. So I said, I want to go into investments. But again, it's a whole new world. Investments, how do you start? You're just 20, I don't know, I was 22, 23. But that I didn't care, didn't scare me. And I just purchased my first investment property, which was like fix and flip.
At 22?
Yeah, 22,
Wow.
23, yeah. Yeah, I remember I convinced an investor to invest on me. I had a little money that I saved up, so I used that as well. And I just went to an auction and purchased a few disgusting, horrible houses where you have to like renovate, fix, and then sell them.
How did you convince somebody to give you money?
That's I think that's one of my biggest skills and gift that I got is people. I really believed in myself. I had this like certainty. I don't know how, but I'll just make it. I'll be good at this. I'll be there. I want to learn. I want to grow, and I just like did whatever I had to do to really believe in myself and convince someone to believe in me and to take that risk. Obviously, he knew I'm new. He knew the risk, but he wanted to, to do
Would
it.
you invest in somebody?
Yes.
You would.
Yes. I love seeing young entrepreneurs who's hungry. Also, okay, that was 1 second. Didn't end there. I'm going to also talk about which investors, to work and which not. But anyway, that was the first deal. And I had a famous story that I always tell that a contractor stole $70,000 from me. He showed me that he did a job, and every week I kept, paying him more, but actually didn't do anything. And I caught it after a while when we paid him, but we didn't get the job done. So you wake up in the morning and you realize that somebody stole $70,000 from you, and you have an investor in the picture. So how do you go to the investor and tell him like, listen, I messed up. This investor, this one of my first one, he was not pleasant. He was very scary. He invested for the wrong reason. He wanted control and, whatever it is, that was his reasons. And he got very mad, like, cursing and really, really, really was very mad. And he tried to like bring me down. This is not for you. This is not your place. You see, you messed up. You have no chance. And I said, okay, it's either I'm going to fix it and it has to happen a miracle. I'm going to do whatever I can, but I'm going to, work it out. Or I go back to bed and just never get up. That's it. I'm done. And this is the first time that I got into the whole mindset world and spirituality and really understanding how I can take responsibility here. I know it seems impossible and it seems like it's the end of the world, but I knew there's a lesson for me here. It doesn't make sense. Like I knew I'm good at this. I knew I need to do it. But I have to fix it. I can't have in my resume that somebody lost money with me. Then what are you doing? You can't do invest. You can't start like that. And then I woke up every morning, 5 a.m., went to Home Depot, looked for a contractor. This little girl in Home Depot with all that was insane. I had a partner with me back then that really helped a lot. We had each other. And I found someone, and my husband left his job to help me finish the project. And we did really whatever we can. We finished it. Then the market went up. So we sold it for much more than we thought. So the investor had already he got back his money and he had some nice little profit. So for me, that was a big win. And I learned so much. It was such a gift because I had this confidence after to choose my investors and to understand who I want to deal with and who's not the type that I want. And I got into this whole, mindset, spirituality world, which is why I'm here today. It's all because of that. Nothing technical, nothing. I didn't have any I had nothing. But I just had myself and my faith. So for me, that's what made me continue. So that was the first lesson into this big, scary world. But we continued again and again. We purchased more houses. I remember always we were like the only woman in the auction. We, kept going to auctions, winning house, fixing, renovating, renting. And then after a little bit after COVID, I got an offer to join a big company, which is what I do today, multifamily. I had already a big community of investors from all over the world, a lot of them from Israel. We built a really good name and reputation. And now we do multifamily. Now we do, big,
If you
nice
go
stuff.
all the way back to when you were still in Israel, what was the dream at that point? What did you see that was like, I just need to change everything so I can get this? What was that?
I wanted a freedom. I wanted to feel like I can do whatever I want, whenever I want, spend time with my kids, living a peaceful, quiet life where I could just choose. I was always like that. I couldn't have a boss on top of my head. I couldn't have people tell me what to do. I needed this freedom. And to be free and to have this impact, for me, I always saw pictures of me helping others, lifting up. I always had, even as a little kid, like the teacher always sat me down next to the new kid to I always had this in me. So for me, if I'm able to make so much money and be successful and help others and impact, that was the dream. So I guess being free, having like the freedom and also the impact of other people. That's why for me, it's not real estate. Real estate is just the tool. For me, it's the people. Every client that comes to me gets so much more than just investments or number or contract or Excels. I really looked into them. I had a client who told me last week, since I invested with you, so many new doors and opportunities opened for me. Like I got into this mindset of abundance, of joy. I got so much more than just an investment. For me, that's a big win, more than any number or any, money.
What did you see about the mindset world that stuck out to you? Because, and we've talked about this with other people also, but I tend to the psychology side, to the clinical research side.
Very different.
And then there's the whole David Guillaume, Gedali Fenster, this
friends.
whole Kabbalah Center world.
I actually just went to Israel last week with David Guillaume. I brought him to Israel. We had a seminar of 600 people. He's my very good friend. We have a very special connection. So for me, it's very different. They're just clinical, researchers. It's going back to your question. It's really a crucial thing to have if you want to live an abundance life with any aspects, relationship, money. I feel like even psychologists use it more now to really be connected to who you are and to God, creator. To be like the creator is what's going to give you the power to live a really successful, amazing life. It's about that. And the moment you understand that, you're just like, that's your main job. That's what I do every day. I wake up in the morning. How can I get better? How can I do better? How can I connect better? And then no matter what comes in my way, I have this resilience. I can deal with it.
So you said that this was all kind of sparked by that $70,000 because of that?
Yeah, because think about it. You're a young girl. You're just starting out, and this big lesson comes in your way. And you're like, well, what do you do? I was so afraid to let people down. That was my thing. And God gave me lessons to really face it. Okay, you let people down. Now what? So what? But that was my lesson to it was still a few years ago. That was I want everybody to love me. I want everybody to be okay with me. I want everybody to be happy. You can't. You're not an ice cream. Not everybody needs to be okay with you and to appreciate you. You need to be okay with yourself. You need to do your best. Obviously, that's why I took responsibility, and I'm always taking responsibility. Try. That's the self-work that I do. But then I don't care about this anymore. So what? Nothing happens. And the lessons come to your way to show you, here, she said this about you, and you're still alive, and you're breathing, and you have this amazing family next to you, amazing friends, client. Nothing happened. You're still who you are.
Was there any difference in the actions you were taking, or was it really just the mindset in there that was changing?
No, you have to take actions. I think it goes together. I woke up every day 5 a.m. to find a new contractor, right? I did work by myself, and I'm not the type who, to work, to do landscaping, but I took the actions. But I did it together with the mindset work to understand why it happened to me. What can I do different? It's really not blaming, just looking into yourself and saying what you can do to change that with the actions, obviously. I feel like, these days there's a lot of going on oh, you don't have to work so hard. You could just work 2 hours a day and do this and then that. I don't think you could really achieve major success or fulfillment without really sacrificing. Doesn't work like that.
Even with AI?
Even with AI. You want to be average? Fine, work 2 hours a day, do this or do... No, but you want to be amazing at what you are and really use your gifts and impact the world, you have to do the mindset work. You have to do the actual work to take actions. And that takes a lot of, sacrificing also.
What is mindset work? Does it need to be on purpose? Because I feel like a lot of people will recognize they're not getting something in life, or that this situation happened to me, so I need to fix it.
Right.
So you could say that's mindset work,
Yeah.
but it's also very natural response kind of work. So
Not really.
It's not natural.
No, because a lot of people, when they want to achieve something and they can't, or they keep getting for example, relationship, right? They keep dating and they keep getting the same guys that don't treat them well and don't respect them. And they're like, oh, I want to get married. It's not me, it's them, right? A lot of people are like that. But then if people really choose to take responsibility, they will go back to themselves and say, hey, why do I keep attracting the same guys into my life? Why people are not respecting me? Why? And then to go inside yourself and see what gain you have from this. What's inside from childhood, whatever it is. If you're talking about clinical research, everything is from childhood, right? You're going back and you're asking yourself, why is it happening to me? What's my relationship with myself? Do I respect myself? Do I care about myself? Do I value myself? If not, why not? And really to do all this, it's very scary, by the way. It's not easy.
Can you do it by yourself? That's something that I would go to a psychologist for.
So I do go to therapy. Of course, I have my mentor. And I do a lot of online also, reading and watching and really understanding this whole Kabbalah spiritual world. You can have a lot of knowledge online for free, by the way. You don't have to, in the beginning, you don't have to spend so much money on it. But yeah, I have my mentor, and every time something happens to me, I'm like, okay, this, what happens to me, what's in it for me? What can I do to fix it? What can I do to, it's not like, oh, it's not even a conversation of, oh, she did this to me, they did. No one is doing anything to you. Everyone is just a messenger to wake you up and see what you need to correct and fix in yourself. Everyone is messengers. It's not even about them. That's why I don't care. That's why I don't hold any anger or madness or something like negative in my heart on anyone. No matter what you're going to do to me, you have no place in my heart. Either I love you or I just don't care. Because again, I take it into okay, that was a lesson for me to learn this and this. Let's move on. That's why every time a situation happens to me, I grow more and I develop more and I achieve more. It's amazing to see it. When you're really taking responsibility, nothing can break you. It will just make you move on faster and get to a whole different level, which is very annoying for your people that, jealous or they're trying to they throw dirt and then flowers just grow. That's amazing, but it's very annoying. But you have to be this person, like Israel. Think about it. So many people are trying to destroy them and hurt them, and they're just rising. And so many amazing things happening in Israel and coming from Israel. If it's the startup nation and business, money, develop everything. Mm-hmm. And they're still happy and laughing and this best humor. Because again, that's what we need to be. We have to build this resilience. And that's only coming from a mindset and taking full responsibility on your life.
I feel like you could, people, or me personally, I'll build that resilience. I'll build that persona when working. And then I see that persona spill the wrong way into my personal life.
What do you mean?
I'm trying to make this mindset of, working hard and focus and all that different type of mindset stuff that I see that I need to work on. And then I get in my personal life and then I'm so in that. And then I'm in that mindset for my business in my life. And then I have my conversations with friends, I'm can't think about it properly. Did you have any issues like that where you're focusing too much on what you're building and your work that it took a toll on something else, or you had to learn how to adjust?
Well, yes, it's also about timing. Right now, you're in a time of your life when you're just focusing on building yourself and your brand and your business. And it makes sense that you will have less patience or room in your mind for other stuff, which is okay. By me, I got married very young. I had already my first daughter when I started everything. So I had to balance. I had to be with her and I also had to build my career. But again, I taught myself that sometimes it's okay to be unbalanced. To be, this is the balance right now. Sometimes I will have to sacrifice more and some days I will have less patience and some days and it's fine. So when some days I'm exhausted, my husband takes in and some days it's okay. We can't expect from ourselves to be perfect and to be balanced with everything all the time. A lot of times you're going to feel that you don't have time for friends, and you just need to focus more on that. And then I guess as you go, you learn how to like combine everything together. But also I feel like lately, like when a person become really successful and really in a place where they, happy and peace and whatever, they have less people in their life. They have less space for that. And then you really make space for whatever is super important, which is yourself, your wife, kids, close family, friends. You have to make priorities.
Do you have a lot of people in your life?
Right now, no. I'm saying yes, but I do make priorities, like who's really close to me, who I will spend my time on. It's funny because so many people are like Instagram, let's have a coffee, let's meet. I'm like, I have my coffee. I don't need to have a coffee with you. You want me to sit down for a coffee with you? Give me a reason. It has to be a value for me, also to you. Like, I have already my close friends, I have my clients, I have my family, I have so many people that I need to pay attention to and be with them. So if you're interested, give me a reason.
Going back to that question, so when's the social time? Or there's no social time?
Well, by me, my work is my social time because I do people. I work with people all day. Think about it. My clients, my partners, the community we've built is all people. So my work is people. That's why I choose this work, because I love people. So for me, that's already enough socializing. That's why I don't have space for just like meeting for no reason. You know what I'm saying? So I always tell people, you want to reach certain people, like you messaging on Instagram, like a successful person that you want to learn from, give them value. Don't expect them to just sit down with you. They don't have time. It's not like they really don't have the time. Give them value. I always, when I reach out to people, what can I give you? I never speak about my interest. I'm not interested to take anything. I want to give you value. That's why I have these powerful connections and relationship that I built, because it was all about giving and not taking. It's very, very important. I say this a lot. Like people text me, I'm like, I wish they would pronounce it differently. I wish they would like write it differently.
What's a big mistake? Like what's like a text that you would get that you would be like?
I got a text yesterday of someone that really wanted to meet me. And I asked her why we need to meet. My schedule is so busy. So she sent me a whole text about her book that she's launching and her. And she wanted me. She wanted to use me for my community, which is not bad, by the way. I understand. But why do you think I will clear my time and sit down with you? Like, that's why I do all the work on my community, my social. I really spend a lot of energy and time there. If you want me to sit down with me, like, give me a reason.
What would be the rephrase in her position? Was there value to give?
What we could collab together, what we could do, what value she can give me. And then that would be a different story. And people have to learn this. I never reach someone from a position of taking. Never. Always giving. Always. That's why I'm trying to teach. And they're amazing. They mean good, but they just don't realize. You know what I'm saying? We have our social platform when we give value for free and we really care and we want to help people. That's why I built this community and we do so much good, really, so much events and conferences. You just spread light, no money for us, nothing. You want to take it to the next level and meet, it has to come from a place of giving.
Do you think everybody has what to give? Everybody has value?
Everyone has value to give.
So how do you find that within yourself if you don't?
I feel like people don't want to research and understand their value, just want to take and take and take. But when you just pause and don't message anybody, right now just be busy with understanding who you are and work hard for that. In the beginning, I didn't reach anyone. I just worked on myself to understand who I am. What can I give? And I worked very hard. There's no shortcut. And that's the mistake. People are looking for a shortcut. They're like, okay, I'll message her. She'll help me. Nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's coming to help you. You have you. The power is within you. You don't need anything from outside, really. So after that, then you have real value. It could be time, energy, ideas, whatever you can.
You mentioned childhood for a second. And one theme that I just see coming up a lot more in my life is people talking about the effect of childhood and more specifically childbirth. Like the the
Yeah.
effect that the conditions of their childbirth had on their psychological state today. So do you think, or how is your childhood affecting who you are today, if it is at all?
Wow. Of course. Of course. That's our main thing, you know? That's what we work on every day. And that's all the therapy hours. It's from childhood. But I feel like I also got a lot of gifts from childhood. For example, I remember I was speaking at the conference last week, and I told them that in my house, my parents got divorced when I was 2. And my father left to America, and my mother raised us 6 kids by herself, no help. And people ask me, how are you in such a good relationship with your father? And everybody, all your family are like so loving, and like everyone's such a good relationship with everybody. And I said that I remember my mother never spoke bad about my father. Never. So even that kind of thing, like, helps me today be very forgiving to people and have compassion and never like speak bad, never have evil eye. Like, I grew up in a house where just like pure. My mother was really pure. So even that, like, and by the way, I realized that not long ago, like, you realize why I'm like that. And like, my mother was like that. My father has an amazing values that I'm still using today without even noticing. So yes, it messed us up. I mean, we all messed up from childhood, but it also gave us, I feel like who I am today is because of my childhood.
Do you think that's
it.
ideal? Would it be better if you could just be in this moment and not be affected by the past, not be affected by the future? I think that would be so much better.
I don't think, like, I see my kids, right? Thank God, they have a very easy life. You can't even compare it to what me and even my husband went through, right? And I'm really trying to make them still like have this resilience and confidence without going through what I'm like. They have their own challenges and journey for sure. But for me, I just love so much who I become that I don't want to go back and change anything. Like, everything gave me such an important lessons to who I am today. Think about it. Also, I got a lot of challenges. I was lonely. I didn't have a father. No money, survival, like everything brought me to where I am today. I appreciate much more. I know how to keep it. I know how to give it to others. I know how does it feel without it. So I'm very sensitive to other people. And all this like human skills that I got really helps me with my job. Real estate is people. And the fact that I'm doing big deals with people and, you know, famous or whatever it is, it's because my people touch, which I learned from the street, you know, being out there. I wasn't good in school. So I wasn't in school. I was always with people, like trying to connect, trying to get to know, like, I feel like it's a huge, huge gift.
What's the big goal with business? Is there some long-term goal, like a number or an amount of buildings? Why do it, basically?
No, it was never about that. I never had the number in my head. Like, okay, I'm not the kind of person who said, oh, by the age 30, I'm going to make the first, whatever, $1 million too. It wasn't about that. For me, it's about feeling to have the freedom, to have the impact, to be able to help, to be able to live in a good life when I can spend time with my kids, my family, when I can have a choice. It's about that, really. It's not about just the number and also, like, I got to a point where I don't even look at my bank account anymore. I have like this certainty that whatever needs to be there.
I do that for a different reason.
Yeah, I used to, by the way. I used to every time check, oh my God, I have no. I have this certainty that whatever I need to get, I will get. Whatever needs to happen will happen. I want to be focused every day, just doing my part. Think about it. We have zero control. Zero. So why it's going to help to check and to get stressed about, or why? It's not going to help. What is going to help is to have the certainty that everything is working for me. I have God. He's taking care of me. I'm just going to do my part. That's it.
How do you know if you're doing enough?
You feel it. I have this rule that I'm going to do whatever I need to do, even with a client, right? I have this like big client that want to invest. I'll have a Zoom call, a meeting. I'll explain. I'll go over the details. I will do anything I can in that call to connect and to really help. That's it. I'm letting go. If he needs to be my client, he will be. We really have no, like, also it's his journey. If he needs to be in part of my life, he will be. If I need to be a part of his life, I will be. Like having this faith really helps with attracting the right clients, doing the right business for the right purpose, cause, and it's very hard, by the way. There's a lot of things like, oh my God, I want this to happen. But then when you're really relying on something and you want this to happen and like, it doesn't happen. It's like a lesson from God, like, why do you need this to happen? Why? Why? For your ego? For your stat? Like, for what? Just leave it outside. Just do your part and live with this certainty. I feel like whoever has certainty will achieve anything in the right time.
Other than giving, what's another way that you build connection with people? Because I'm wondering, like, it seems like you really value building those quality connections. And like a lot of people, or me personally, I go to a networking event. I'm speaking to as many people as possible and just waiting for something to click. And every so often it clicks. And I'm like, okay, cool. This worked. But it seems like you have a very different approach. What is your approach?
I always collaborating with people. I never compete. I don't have competition. I'm into like collaborating and mutual interest and do things together. Also by me, I never hide like a business secrets or like I always say, I'm not afraid of someone copying me or
like
I live in a mindset where whatever is mine will be mine. So why can't I just share for other people to also be successful? I'm very open with what I do. I remember when I first started real estate, I had this girl from Israel. I literally sat down with her and taught her everything. How do I get my investors? What do I do? Everything. And she's doing it now. And I'm so happy. I'm not even in touch with like, I'm not hiding or like in a mindset of like, oh, she's my competition. Nobody's my competition. There's no one else like me and no one else like you. And you know, you all have your own unique gifts. So that helps. And also in the beginning, I used to go to anywhere, like events, conferences. I used to like be focused so much with building this network because it's all about people. It's all about relationships. So even now, like I talk, I go, and even I don't think what's in it for me. When I had an opportunity, I just went for it. Anything. I flew. I remember in the beginning where I had no money, I was everywhere I could to learn, to grow, to meet, to connect.
A lot of the work you do is with empowering women, right? And it seems like there's so many or so few organizations helping men, but there are a lot that are empowering women. And from where I'm just like, it looks pretty even. So what am I missing?
Why?
And I'm not saying that as a challenge. I'm asking because I genuinely am
help
curious.
Women and not men?
Why? What is the specific need for women these days that men don't have? Because we see a lot of help being given to women, not so much to men.
Well, it started with I had a lot of women who came to invest with me, and that was their first investment. A lot of like single moms were like, it was the only money they had, and they felt confident with me and not with other men or any office. They felt like the connection. So I said to myself, I helped them so much, more than just the investment. Why can't I just do it to everyone, not only people that can invest? So I started with this. And I realized women have a lot of limitation in their mind, what they can do, and a lot of guilt also. Because, you know, they're mothers, they need to be with the kids, that like men have it more natural. Like they just go and do, and they have less, obviously it's not true, right? We all have our issues in our mind and limitation. But I feel like business-wise, financial, especially in real estate and, you know, that kind of industry, there's less women because they're afraid. They have guilt. They need this push.
What is the fear? Because you're saying they're more comfortable with you, they connect more with you than with a male investor. So what are they scared of if they're dealing with a male investor?
Women are more emotionally connected and men less. Today's not true. There's a big change in that. But
a lot of emotional men out there.
Yeah, a lot of emotional. But from what I heard is that they wanted this emotional support, not just like a business, not just like numbers, more than that. They wanted the mental push, to invest takes a lot of courage, and you have to have faith, and you have to like go, and you have to like be a lot of things before you just like release your money. So it started with this. But I speak to a lot of men during my work, and I feel like women show it more, but men also have their challenges with this. Just like you expect for a man to be more strong, more resilient. Also, like in my business, if something happens, like let's say you have a situation with a person, a man will take a very like cold and like, okay, business. A woman is much more emotional. So I see it. I have to work on myself to be like more, disconnect myself and be more,
So you think one is better than the other? You think it's
no,
better to
it's
be
not.
both?
It's not. It's not. I don't believe like, oh, like, no, both of them are important. And I feel like each human being has to work on themselves regardless of their gender, For me, because I'm a woman and I grew up in a place where it was less common for a woman to be in business and whatever, I feel like the need for it, for community, But I don't think I think it's crucial for women to be in business. We have this intuition, instincts. We have things that men don't have, and men have things that it's harder for us. So,
Do you think it's different for from women also?
yeah, for sure. For sure, because you grew up, you're like, oh, you have to be this, and you have to be perfect. You have to be a perfect wife and a mother, and you grew up with so much guilt.
So what would you say
Also,
to
for
that?
women, it's hard to speak about money. You know how hard is it for, like, when I sit next to men, it's so normal to talk about money. Oh yeah, I make this. Oh yeah, well, okay, 2 million. Like for a woman to even say that she wants money, it's like, why are you so shallow like that? So
Even if they have a career?
yeah, it's harder.
Really?
Yeah, that's why we work on it. We work to say it's okay. It's money is so important. You can't give and you can't be a good person if you're not, filled in yourself. I always say I have to invest in myself first to be able to give and to impact others. So I explain them money is a really spiritual thing. It's not just like being shallow or like stop with this blame or guilt that, we love money. Money is so important.
So what would you say to those women who are trying to work, who are working already and have these anxieties or fears? Because hopefully we're going to build a big company and be working with a lot of women.
Amen.
Yeah.
And I assume no one's going to come up to us and say, hey, we need this. And whatever anxieties or fears that women have, men also have. They're also not going to say it.
I'm opening an Empire for Men. That's it.
We need
That's
an
it.
HR department.
That's because
So
of it. Yeah.
what would you say to them and what should we say to them?
Really, we could light in them and make them understand that anything they desire, whatever desire they have, it meant to be achieved, and they could achieve anything. And there's no right or wrong, or there's nothing they can do. I don't care if you're religious, if you desire something, it's not for nothing. It has a reason. Saying each one of us have different desires, right? If I desire to be something, it means it's already inside me and I need to just do it. So first of all, to be okay with their desires. A lot of people feel ashamed or, they have blame. Why do I want so much? Why I can just sell for less? It's for a reason. So really start with that and then do the work, put the effort, do the work. There's no shortcut. Really do the work and act like the person you want to be already. And I'm not saying fake it until you make it as like this, really act and take actions from a state of being that you hold complete, that you have everything you need. Don't go out there with the energy of a taker. I need this from him. With the energy that you hold and complete as you are right now, but you need to do this and this, and you need to take steps to be able to move forward. But that's a very important thing.
So when you came here, it was probably like 2 months ago, and you were talking with Basa Kovacs.
Yeah.
You talked a lot about emunah, and it feels a little vague. So what do you think, what changes, and what's changing in your life when you have that emunah, and like what are the lines of thinking that you're adding on with that?
Everything. I feel that I created so much miracles in my life because of that faith and emunah. Really. People call me the manifester. Then I'm like expert on manifesting. And it's really that. It's having this, it's funny, I was talking to a friend, my best friend from childhood, and she said, it was 2 days ago, and she said, Chaya, remember we used to speak about it, and you used to tell me, one day I'm going to be this, and I'm going to have this huge event, and I'm going to speak, and I'm going to be famous. And I'm going to be on TV and I'm going to have this. And you were speaking about it with so much certainty when you were like 14, 15 years old. You had nothing. You were like, I slept with her in our house. I didn't even have like my own room. I was nothing. I dropped out of school. And I was like, Ayala, did you laugh at me when you heard that? She's like, no, because you really believed in yourself. So I was like, who I am to like doubt it. You really had this certainty. I was like, really? I didn't even remember. But she said, yeah. When you feel like you need to do something or be something, don't doubt yourself. It's for a reason, and have this faith that Hashem is going to guide you. Obviously, it's been a long journey, but here I am. And I feel like everything that's happening to me, I feel like it happened already in my mind. Like, it's funny. I have like this déjà vu, like, oh, I saw it already. And it's real. It's working. You just have to have this certainty that no matter how long it takes, you will make it work. You'll get there.
Do you think it ever leads you down the wrong path? Because like I spend so much time working, and I'll look back on the past year and a half and just be like, maybe that was a total waste of time.
There is no such a thing. Every mistake is for a reason. Hashem doesn't make mistakes. Everything you've been through leads you to where you need to go. You know how many meetings or places I went that like technically didn't whatever lead to anything? But who knows, maybe I had to go through this in order to meet him or her and do this and like, it's such a huge puzzle. Sometimes you don't know how to connect it right away, but when you look back, you can really connect the dots. And even if it's not, but there's no like coincidence. There's no mistakes. That's why I'm like, I always smile when people are so afraid to make mistakes. Like, who do you think you are? Who are you to be afraid? Like, of course you're going to make mistakes. Who doesn't? You're God. But that's a part of your journey. Just, so what? You're going to stay home and not do anything because I never have this fear. I don't have, it's funny, I'm thinking about it as we talk, but like, I don't have a fear of making a mistake. I know I will. But I just have this like faith that whatever I do, I'm going to learn and it's going to take me to the next step and it's going to be for me and not to me. But you can't like prevent yourself from making mistakes. It's lessons. You grow.
It sounds very forgiving. Like, and with mindset, is it forgiving will take you further or actually changing your mindset and, you know, working harder will take you further?
Both. You can't move forward without forgive yourself and accept yourself for who you are. It's both. You really, you know, every time something happened to me, if I don't accept the situation, like surrender and say, okay, it is what it is. Now I have a choice. How to take it, how to learn from it, how to move forward with it. It's both. A lot of people are always like in denial. They're having a hard time to just accept the situation for what it is. They can't move forward. You can't learn the lesson without first accept it. So there's a few steps. You need to accept it, to understand what's in it for you, what you need to learn about yourself. And that's it. And then you'll see the lesson will just like change to another one. Don't worry, there's always going to be a new lesson. But until you learn your lesson, you're going to get the same situation over and over again. Different people, but if you have an issue with money, right? You have an issue with relationship with money, you're going to get tested all the time with money.
Is there any end? You just keep on making mistakes your whole life? Like it's just...
I don't call it mistakes. I call it a journey, lessons. It's a growth journey. That's how you grow. You learn nothing from success. Think about it. When you're successful and everything is amazing, what do you learn? Your ego just like pumping up, like nothing happens. You learn about yourself from challenges. So why is it, I don't even call it mistakes. Why is it so bad? It's not so bad. It's really...
Do you want to be on a journey your whole life? I feel like at some point I just want to like...
Oh my God,
At some point I just want to be like,
what do you think? Elon Musk doesn't have challenges? Trump doesn't have challenges? They're like, that's it.
But that sucks. That means that they're still, they're very human. They.
You want to leave? You want to continue to leave? I'm telling you, there's no other. But you have to take it.
I want to go through challenges. I want to go on a journey, but it should take me somewhere.
The minute you finish your tikkun, the minute you finish your tikkun, you're dead.
That sucks because right when you made it, it's like you're done.
It's not, because you have to take it in a different perspective. Like, okay, I'll enjoy my journey. Okay, I'll learn. I'll move on. Like, you're not taking things too much serious anymore. You just understand. Okay,
I hear that mindset when you're on a walk and you're like, I don't care about where I'm going. I'm just going for a good walk. You have a great walk. You make it to the place and you walk back, right? You did the journey, but for your life, I would want it to be that there's actually a place that I'm going to end up and enjoy.
But you could choose this place right now. You could really be present at the moment and just decide to enjoy. And no matter what comes to you, you'll just like handle it.
So what are you working towards?
Well,
You're working towards a poof.
I'm enjoying the walk. I'm not enjoying the end goal. I'm enjoying the walk. I'm enjoying now, the
Then
journey.
I just feel like I'm about to die. I'm going to die in a couple of years, no?
I really, the spiritual work that I'm doing really taught me how to be present and just enjoy the moment. I don't know what's going to be next, so I'm just going to enjoy now. I'm not going to let her opinion or his opinion to now define me or ruin my moment. Who are they? Like, who says I'm going to be here in the next minute? So let me just enjoy. You know what I'm saying? It's the opposite. It gives you freedom.
Do you ever think about Olam Haba or afterlife?
I know there's afterlife, and I'm trying to do as much good as I can to be, to deserve to be there happily. I don't. What do you mean? It's we all know it's.
What do people say about it in the whole Kabbalah world?
That you have to really make sure to do your tikkun and really, be like the creator and be good, do good to have
And then what happens?
Well, I'm not. Don't get me into this. Oh my God, it's 6 o'clock. It's 6:30. Well, what time is it? No.
5:30.
You're not getting
so
this
early enough. It's early enough.
No. That's too deep for now. Come on.
But you have the answers now, and it's even worse.
I have the answer. I told you. For me, if I'm thinking about it, is that I'll just do my part and really make sure I deserve the Olam Haba and finish my tikkun.
Okay, so we'll skip that part.
That's my goal. Yeah. No, really. That's what
DJ's disappointed.
That's why you have to live by. Really act like the creator, think like the creator. From me, by the way, I feel like the one thing that I want to transfer on, especially to the religious world, is focusing on the right things, like Lashon Hara, evil eye, just be good, more than anything. Bet HaMikdash was destroyed on hate, not on anything else. So be united, being a good person. Don't speak evil speech, not to yourself, not to others. That's really what you need to do.
How do you pass that on?
Blessing. Gives so much blessing to not talk. I have this bracelet of Lashon Hara. Lashon Hara lo medaber alai. So much blessing with just not talking evil speech about yourself, about your kids, others. For me, that's the main thing. We should focus on this generation. So much hate, so much wars outside. Start with us, being united inside. Having this peace inside.
On social.
Yeah. If you don't have anything smart or positive to say, just don't say it. Don't say it. It's not like, okay, so I have this like long skirt and long sleeves, but type whatever you want and spread so much hate. It's not worth it. Just first be good on the inside. Mm-hmm. And that's the light that we all need to spread now, especially these days. To be more united, have this peace inside us, and then our enemies, it's the reflection.
What are we doing right these days?
What are we doing
right? On a positive note, what do you think we're doing well?
I feel like there's a lot of wake-up calls, and a lot of people are awakening to spirituality, even in Israel. Like I did this conference, Kabbalah, so many people came.
People are not spiritual in Israel?
People are very spiritual, but even more, even here. Like people want to go deeper. People understand that there's, they want to be connected to the source. There's a lot of great things happening. I see it. People need this meaning to their life. They're sick, even like very wealthy people. You see, the money's not enough. They're looking for a purpose. They're looking for a mission. So it's amazing.
What happens on those trips, like this past one with David Guillaume?
It was the energy. I'm still high from it. The energy that we had in these 4 days in Israel was unforgettable. You see that how a person really walk the talk, like he really acting of a state of being of wholeness, abundance. How is important to speak good about people, about yourself, be generous. Just being this creator energy is something that you want to take apart. You want to be like that.
Were they classes? Were they practices?
It was a seminar. It was a whole day seminar.
So all talking?
Yeah.
And you had to listen the whole time?
Yeah. It was a whole day seminar. Everybody was fascinated. It was amazing.
Did you present on anything?
I spoke in the beginning, yeah.
What did he speak about?
I just said like about the
Oh, that
event,
same
how
thing?
special. I introduced him to Israel. Yeah, it was very special for me. He's a very special person. He's doing the work. You see, there's no other. It's not about like, it doesn't make sense even. The impact that he has is just because of him being so spiritual and connecting others also to the source, to the light. People want to be connected.
Yeah. I'm always really interested whenever someone moves from a different country, because it seems like it's a very big move,
Yeah.
and it's really dramatic, and there's always some big reason why they would do that. A lot of people, it's a dream. A lot of people, it's something they're leaving from. Would you ever go back to Israel to live there?
So I am obsessed with Israel. I love Israel. I go to visit and I have a lot of work there and clients. I don't think about moving back. I feel like the opposite. I feel like my mission is that I live here and I could do so much to them from here. I'm filling my cup here. So I can go and give and do so much for them. So right now it works perfectly. I moved to America because I had a dream and I'm living the dream, but I don't forget where I came from. I still have my childhood friends. I brought them to the seminar. Everything I do, I bring them. I think the one thing is about me that I'm very grounded. I don't forget where I came from, and I'm doing it because I enjoy living my mission and have a higher purpose. I'm not acting from a place of ego, or I'm very grounded. So that what helps me to stay like that is my community, my country, my people.
Do you ever think that just like to get to where you are today, you had to take that big jump, that now you have to do something on that same scale to get to the next level? And instead, it's like, until something extreme happens, maybe you're just not doing enough.
First of all, you can't get anywhere in life without jumping and taking a risk. That I learned already. I jumped. I always, by the way, did stuff before I was ready. Always. I got married when I was not even 18. You know, I had my I always did things before I was ready. So that's my nature. Yeah.
You think people should be doing that?
Yeah, 100%.
People should be dangerous?
Yeah.
People should be risky?
Yeah. You have only one life. Don't miss out. People always regret the things they didn't do and not what they did. Mm-hmm. I'm not speaking about I'm very cautious person. I'm not jumping out of I'm not talking about dangerous. Don't risk your life because I said so. But if you want to get somewhere, you need to take a step.
I feel like it's an uncomfortable place for me to be present, because like what you're saying, the more present I get, the more dangerous I get. I guess that's the word.
But what do you mean dangerous? Then what? Okay, what can happen?
What could happen? So many things could happen.
You can lose money?
I could lose money. I could lose a friend.
What do you mean? Money is energy. Just bring up the energy. You'll get more money. Money is spiritual. What do you mean? You have only, it's funny. People are yeah, it's the only money I have. So you're telling your mindset, that's the only money you will have. Okay, so that's what's going to happen. What do you mean? I believe the money will come to me all the time. It doesn't end. It's what? I'm breathing today, so tomorrow I'm not going to have air to breathe. Tomorrow I'm going to have new. It's all about our limitation. Mm-hmm. When people tell me that, I'm like, what are you afraid to lose? You're going to make more, but you experienced more. If you're staying in the same and in the right energy, and you're doing the work and you're understanding your value, money is just going to come to you. Money is an outcome. So the more you understand your value, the more you give value, the more money you get. So if you need to lose, you have to lose some to win some. You can't just win. Again, you're not going to learn anything, right? You see all these famous people, they saying 99% I failed, and then this 1% made all the noise. That's how it works.
It sounds very reaction-based, very gut-based, this should work.
You have to be connected.
But there's a whole, we're in New York right now. There's all these offices that do strategy. And they spend months before they make a decision. And they rate your risk. They see if this is worth it or not. Do you live your life anything like that, or it's just all gut?
I'm more I see Trump as something similar to me. I'm not normal. Mm-hmm. But that's who I am. That's who I am. I'm not, no.
So why do you think people?
I'm not overthinking. I just do decisions. I jump. I just do whatever I feel like I need to do in order to get where I need to get. And I just have faith. And the other end, by the way, I'm not risky. Like I do real estate, it's something more conservative. It's more solid. I'm not doing crazy things. But if a person looks at my life like, oh, wow, you took so much risks, I guess, yeah, because that's the only way to do it. If I was overthinking and like this I wouldn't be an entrepreneur. An entrepreneur has to be creative, has to take risks, to jump. That's the way to go. You can't build a business out of like thinking all the time. You have to take actions. And again, the minute you realize your fear is based out of like illusions, then what are you fearing so much? Think about it. You lose some money, okay, you'll win them back. Like you'll do like there's certain things that no one can take away from you, right? Your personality, your energy, your faith, something that you can always, once you're doing it, you can always repeat it.
Mm-hmm.
There's always a fear of like when you're successful, you're like, okay, maybe I was luck. Maybe I'm not going to do it again. But no, if you was able to do it one time, you will repeat it. You have what it takes in you to do it. So don't worry.
One last question. How do you get better energy? What are you supposed to do?
Drugs.
That's a good question. First of all, there's some days that you will have less energy. Don't fight it. Just let it be. And then it comes natural from really continuing and doing what you love and what you're passionate about. For me, it helps. Meditating, music, being with the people I love, it just like gets back, but I learned not to fight it. Just do things that makes you happy and it will go back. And if you need some days to just stay in bed, do it.
Really?
Yeah.
Just so you recover that energy?
Just the fact that I'm letting myself
I would do that
stay
in school.
bed.
I'd be like, I'm sick. I wasn't really sick.
Right. So just telling myself, okay, you could stay in bed. Nothing will happen. 20 minutes, I'm up already. We don't need to fight it. Don't deny it. You know what I'm saying? The minute you tell yourself, okay, you can do that, then you're like, okay, fine, I got the point. Yeah, let's go. That's how it works for me. Just like I need to let myself to recharge. But I always am listening to myself, what I need. Do I need a massage today? Do I need shopping? Do I need to recharge myself? Do I need a little vacation? I'm really, really investing in myself a lot. Otherwise, I'm not going to be able to be out there and give so much. You need to recharge yourself. And it's not selfish. It's really, really important.
Where does what do I need to do kind of attitude, where does that come from? The list of things to do.
What do you mean? To recharge yourself? Whatever you feel.
The way that I think is like, I need to do these 5 things today. Not like I
not
need
with
to go.
Me. I don't have lists of anything.
I need to go to the gym and I need to do some self-care and skincare.
Whatever I feel like I need to do, I will do it for myself.
So how do you stay focused? How do you get your goal done?
Because you're really connecting to yourself and listening to what you need. You feel it in your gut, what you need. I don't have a list. That's not how I work.
If I go on vacation and work out every day for 2 hours and, live
that makes
amazing,
you happy and
life,
motivated.
that won't build this business here today.
No, but if you're taking a day off and you're recharging yourself and you have these all creative ideas that come to you because you're free and you're pausing, then it's going to make you more productive and effective after. I don't just go on vacation and stay there. It's funny, I go on vacation after like 2 days. I'm like, okay, I'm ready to go back, right? Because I love what I'm doing. Nobody's forcing me. Mm-hmm. But it gives me like a clear mind and space for new ideas to come in and to create more. So if I need to do it, I'll do it. I know what I need to do. But everything is for that purpose, to move on, to be able to create more, to do more, not from running away. I don't run away.
If there was one message you could give to the people that will probably be listening to this, what would you tell them?
Take responsibility. Do the work. Focus on yourself. Black all the background noises, right? I don't care about where you came from, what you have, what you don't. Everything is in your control, in your choices, your faith. Everything can be changed in a second. So just do the work.
Wow. Thank you.
Thank you.
Of course. Thank you
Great
for
sitting
having
down
me.
with you.